Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of our 3D maze game. Today we are going to try and fix our issues that we had in our previous episode, which I believe was something to do with the animation of our moving points through our teleporting system. So we're going to jump into that and try and figure out and see what we can do. Let me just pull this up here so I can see where we left off. So the previous episode was creating a teleport, trying to create a teleporting animation. Okay, so let's get into that and see where we left off. So let's jump into it. So here it is. Okay, so this is where we left off in our previous episode. Let's just go play the game and see what's happening. So we have our game here. Let's just zoom in so we can see. If we play it, we have our cube. We can still move it, but it's not in our maze, which is a problem. And when we collide with our teleporter, it doesn't really play any animation. Okay, so let us figure out why. So on our cube, let's see, did we add in an animator? So here's our animation tab over here. So let's play this and see where we are. So here's our cube. If we play this, what does it do? Okay, so it just moves up. That's pretty much it. But let's go and see if we have that on loop. So cube down and up. So these are both, okay, so our cube up is on loop, which we don't want it to be. I believe what it was playing was our cube down, because that should be the first animation it plays, because when you first collide with the teleporting tile, it's supposed to kind of like suck you down into it, and then the next one, the one that it's linked to, will eventually push you back out. So we have to play our cube down animation first when colliding with that platform, as well as swapping to the other animation and then playing the correct one when we are on the correct location. So we need to find our, what's it called? First of all, let's go and get rid of this. Actually, let's leave this one here, because I believe that one will always be our cube. No, it won't. So I'm gonna lock this if I can. Actually, we'll lock our cube on this side, because I think you can lock it there. And then whatever we select will... Actually, I'm in the completely wrong game. That's weird. Ignore that. That is our rolling cube game. So this is the right this is the right game. Now our cube here has an animate. It should have an animator on it, yes, but it's not enabled. So maybe that was why it wasn't working. So let's go to our cube prefab and see what's happening here. So on our cube prefab, we don't have an animator. So I'm just going to go and update this cube, override all of these so that we can update our prefab. So now our cube should have a animator on it. Yes, it does. So I'm going to go and take that, and then let's just see what happens. So now we have to zoom in here. So if we play the game, we should still be able to move. Now we can't move the cube at all, which is a problem. So it definitely has something to do with our animation. So let's go and open up our cube script, and let's just see if we are changing our position when we go and play our animation, because we should. But if we go to, where is it, in Unity, on our, we need our animator window. So let's open up our animator. So this is here. So on entry for our cube, when our cube enters the game, it's going to go to a normal state. Yeah, that's fine. And then whenever we collide with our teleporting platform, we're going to go and set let's rename this. This should be is teleporting, just so it makes more sense. Is teleporting should be true. Yeah, that's fine. And then actually we need to rename this to is teleporting down. So we'll go and set that equal to true. And then when we go, how are we going to do this? Because we need to go from a normal state to playing the cube down, and then we need to go back to a normal. No, we're gonna have to go straight to the cube. I think we're gonna have to go straight to cube up, because you won't be allowed to, depending on if we get this working correctly, we won't be allowed to change the position of the cube unless it has been brought back into the scene through the linked teleporting platform or tile. So if we go from cube down to cube up, we need to create another boolean here and say is teleporting up. I don't really know if this is the best way to do it, but we'll start off like that and then we'll change it later on if we need to. So let's go and add is teleporting up needs to be true. Okay, so that should be fine. And then from there, make transition back to normal. Has no exit time. Transition duration 0. And then I don't really think we need that, so let's just leave it like that, I think. But we'll save that for now, and then let's just play this and see what happens. I don't think that that's going to make much difference, but okay, so we still can't move our cube, but our move count is still climbing. So on our cube, we have a animation. Now, I don't really know if this episode has been released yet on our rolling cube, but let me just check quick. So in our rolling cube game, if you haven't watched that, I'll put a link to it or a card at this point of this video. But in that game, we made a... Yeah, so we did make... It has been released. I think that one came out on the 19th of May. So in that game, we made an animation where the cube... I think it's when you start the level, the cube comes up. So it's going to do the exact same thing in this game. It's going to be the opposite. So when you start the level, the cube will come out of a platform. When you finish it, it will get sucked into that platform. In this game, it's going to be the opposite. When you go onto the teleporting platform, it's going to get sucked in. And then straight away, it's going to get pushed back out onto the linked other tile that the first teleporting tile is linked to. So... where was I going with that? I completely forgot. Oh, that's where we're going. So on what I figured out why, because we had the same problem. Let's just swap this. So we had the same problem when we added an animation to our cube and then and then we went to still try to move the cube from one platform to the other, rolling it on the edge onto the next face. We had a bit of a problem because the animation actually affects the position of the cube. So what we had to do is, if we jump back into the game, we actually had to create a parent object. So we'll create an empty parent object, and then we will take off our animator. So I'm just going to copy component as well as remove it, and then let's just override that so that applies to our cube. And then on our parent game object, we are going to paste component as new, so that we should paste our animator, which it does. Now, I don't know if this is going to work for this game, but it did work for our previous game. Okay, so it does clearly work. Now we just need to figure out why our cube is no longer being positioned at the right location. So we go and play our game. You can see that we can still move our cube. And if we collide with our teleporting tile, it does move us to the opposite side. So that is a good sign. Now the only thing we need to do is figure out why our cube is being spawned underneath our maze. Oh, maybe that's why. What's that? And I believe that's just the starting position of the cube when the level has not been loaded. So we need to go and figure out why that is happening. So let's go. We did open up our cube script, which is here. Now we need to figure out why when we load in the game, which I believe is done in the level manager. So at the start of the game, you go and find the cube, yeah. You get the level that you're on, which is 0. Well, you set the level that we're on, which is 0. I think that's it should be level 1, but I think that's the index in the array. Okay, then we go and instantiate the new level, and then we need to move the cube. So this is where we are probably going wrong. So here's our move cube. So the last level starting point. Okay, so we're going to go and find that. So let's go and figure out where that is. Let's play the game quick and then pause it. So you can see here that our, where am I? Our level starting point is at -5, -0.5, and 2.5. And according to our code, we go and set the cube position to the level starting point X value and the level starting point Z value, which is fine. And our cube position should stay at the same one that it is. So let's just go and restart the game and see. So our cube is currently at -1. Okay, so that's a problem, I believe. I think that should be, we'll set that to 0 for now. And let's just see, let's play the game. And then hopefully now our cube is inside of our maze, which it is. So here we have our cube. We can move our cube. We can't move through the maze, which is good. We can move inside of the maze. So our animation doesn't work, but our teleporting platforms do work. Okay, so we haven't really done the both ways teleporting. I don't know if we're going to do that, at least for the first level. But let's go and try and get our cube to play the animation. So I'm just going to set the cube's position to -1, and then that should be fine. So let's see. No, it's not. What did I just change? That should be set to 0, and the game object is also at 0. What? Let's just see. I mean, it's working. What did I just change that we need to set to minus? Oh no, we set it at 0. Okay, so but they're both at 0, which is fine because I think our level is instantiated at this position, which is at 0. Okay, that's fine. So let's have a look and see why our animation is not working. So when we go and teleport, which is done in our teleport manager here, we need to play the animation, okay? Which apparently we are trying to do, but we have no luck. Okay, so this needs to be is teleporting, I believe. And actually, let's just copy and paste it from here. So this needs to be, needs to be is teleporting down. So we'll copy that entire string and paste it in there. We'll save it like that. Is teleporting needs to be true. So when we go from, let's just double check this. When we go from a normal state to cube down, is teleporting needs to be true. Okay, so we'll set that to true. Animator.play downclick.toString. What's downclick? Downclip. So I don't really think we need that. Let's go and take that out. And maybe that's the problem. So let's see. We'll play that. Maybe we'll have some luck and see the animation working. So if we move down, okay, it doesn't work. You know why it might not be working? Because we need to add some sort of delay into the swap positions, because as soon as you hit that platform, it is changing your position straight away, and it's not really giving you time to view the animation. So we need to add some kind of delay. So let's look that up quick and say Unity add delay. Before Actually, Unity add delay in script. How to delay a function in Unity. Add how to delay. Okay. Okay, so it needs to be a start coroutine. Okay, so we'll probably have to make a new method here and call this play animation maybe. Let's see, what do we want? Let's just go out of gameplay mode quick. So in our script, in our teleport manager here, we will take all of this out. We'll cut that out. And then instead of doing all of that, we will... Actually, you know what? Let's just go and cut all of this out. And then we can just simply call the method here by saying play teleporting animation. Something like that. And then here we can say private void play. I would copy and paste that name, but I've cut out the other bit, so I can't get rid of that. Otherwise, we'll have to redo it all over again. So this needs to be play teleporting animation, like that, and then we can paste all of that in here. Okay, so this needs to be start coroutine. It also needs to, where is it? It also needs to be IEnumerate. Okay. Start code. What am I doing? Start coroutine with the name of the method. I think that's what. Do we have to do a string? Can't remember. We need to change it to IEnumerator. Okay, so I'm just gonna save some time, copy and paste that, and then put that there. Okay, and here what we want to do is we want to add some kind of delay. So let's go and say yield wait, or yield return. What is it? Yield return new wait 4 seconds. How long does our animation take? I believe it's only half a second. Where's our cube? Our cube's here. Okay, so it's not even half a second. It's 0.1 second. So we can wait. We'll make a integer here and call this private float, actually, because it's going to be a decimal. Private float animation delay. And that's going to be equal to, we'll set it at 0.5 for now. And then we'll go and add that delay into here. So this is going to be animation delay. All right, so that should give us some sort of delay before we go and move our cube. So let's save that, and hopefully that will work. Let's give it a try. Okay, so let's play, and then, okay, so it does give us a little bit of a delay, but it's not really working. The animation is not really working. So let's check the actual animation. So on our cube, where's our cube? Here it is. So let's play this and see. Copy that. I'm just going to stretch that out to half a second and then play that. So this is cube up. This needs to be cube down. So let's play this and see 10 seconds. We'll move this out to half a second. Okay, that's fine. So we'll save that. Maybe that's why it wasn't working, because it could possibly be very, very fast, hopefully. So let's test this out. Nope. It's not working. Or is it? I know it's not working. So we need to try and figure out why it's not working. Okay, so let's just go and see if we have our animator. So where is our canvas? No, our managers, our teleporting manager needs to be somewhere. Oh, it might be on our, I think it's on the actual teleporting platform. So let's see, on the first level, teleporting A has, it doesn't have a script on it. Teleporting B also doesn't have a script on it. Maybe it's on, yeah, so it's on the actual parent object of the level. Okay. Also, I don't, maybe let's get rid of that because I don't really know if that we need that there. So let's go to our, where is it? Where do we need to do this? We need to do this on the prefab. So bring this up here on our level 1. Yeah, on this one. We should have teleporting A, yes. We can overwrite that, and then we can overwrite this just so that it updates with all of them. And then on our parent object, I think we can get rid of this. Let's just get rid of it and see what actually happens. So animator, we are going to have to bring in from our cube because I think that's why it's not working, because it's using this animator, which is not attached to the cube, possibly. So we need to somehow get the animator that is on the cube parent object. So I'm just going to add a tag on here just for testing purposes. We're going to call this cube parent. And then we'll attach that to our cube parent. And then we can hopefully go and find that. We can't drag and drop it in because our level, well, scene doesn't start with our level in it. So before we go and, well, we can do the exact same thing here. So we can go and say copy and paste that, and then this can be changed to animator is equal to game object dot find object with tag. Actually, let's do this. Oh, actually, what we can do is we can do this, copy and paste that. This is going to be cube our cube parent. So we can go and say cube parent. Also, this is probably a very bad practice at doing this, but we'll do it like this for now. So cube tag, cube parent tag. We'll do it for now until we get it to actually work, and then once we figure out what the problem is, if this is even the problem, we shall go and change it and make it better. So this needs to be, what did we set it? I think we set it at cube parent. So let's just double check. Yeah, cube parent with both capitals. Okay, because it has to be exact. So this needs to be global.cube parent tag. And then what we can do is we can go and say animator is equal to cube parent dot get component animator So I think that's fine. So that hopefully should work. Let's test it out. Otherwise we will save it for the next episode. So let's make this bigger so we can play the game. And let's test it out. Okay, so it worked. I don't know if you saw that, but you can see, I'll leave this here, but let's start that again and see. So the only thing we need to do now is to try and, let's zoom out. You can see, here's our cube. Let's select it. There's our cube. You can see in our 2D view. But you can see that when we move down to the platform, you can see it moving down. And then for some reason, it still moves down again once it's moved to the other platform, which is not correct. We'll fix that in the next episode because we want to move it. Actually, it's not doing that. Let's just check something. I think it's still moving when so it's not. It's still moving because the delay is not the correct delay. So let's just make this bigger. Actually, let's just make our animations shorter, because that is why it's not working how we wanted it to, because we made it a lot longer. So we'll go in half the time. But I also want to change the animation quickly. So this video is a little bit longer, but I want to change the animation to be, what is it called? To be the same one that we did in our cube roading game. So when we go and move the cube down, we want the cube to not only move down, but we don't want to be able to see the cube at the bottom of the level. We want it to shrink into the teleporting platform and make it look like it's just coming at the other one. So to do that, this needs to be, we'll start this by recording it, and then when we go, actually no, we'll do it to the, let's go to it and do it to the down one, because this is the one we're working on first. So we'll bring this back down to half of what it was, and then you can see that it moves from y0 to y minus 1. Okay, so when we go and do this, we want to start off where it is, but we don't want to move down. What we want to do is we want to scale the cube down to 0, but we also, actually no, that's not wrong. So we want to scale it down to 0 when we are finishing the animation. So we'll set that to 0. Let's just move this to here, and then set that to 0. And hopefully that should play an animation that looks like the cube is kind of shrinking down. So it also looks like the cube is moving. So what we can do is we can fix the position and keep it at 0, I think it is. And then hopefully, no, sorry, we need to half it. So that needs to be minus 0.5. So now it will look like the cube is kind of shrinking down, but it looks like it's in the wrong direction. So let's just go play the game and see what it looks like. So play the game and then onto the platform. Okay, so it's getting there, but we kind of did it in the wrong direction. So we know that it's working. So tomorrow's episode we'll carry on with this game and try and get the other side's animation finished, and then we'll also try and finish the fix that animation so that it looks like it's shrinking down into the platform and then popping back out in the other teleporting platform. So we'll end this video off here because it's only almost half an hour. So that's it for today's episode. So thanks for watching if you made it this far. And if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the videos. Also give them a like. And I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. So thanks for watching and goodbye.